Well, in the last few moments, Grant Shapps has, in fact, tweeted to explain what is on the English list when it comes to green countries. This is what he says. You can see the tweet there. We're adding Malta to the government green list. We're also adding Madeira, the Balearic Islands, several UK overseas territories and Caribbean islands, including Barbados, to the green list and green watch list. Israel and Jerusalem are also added to the green watch list. He goes on to say 6 countries, including Tunisia and Haiti, will be put on the red list. All these changes, of course, coming into effect from Wednesday, the 30th of June at 4 a.m. Now, he also says, and this also was strongly anticipated, thanks to our successful vaccination programme, our intention is that later in the summer, no date as yet, UK residents who are fully vaccinated will not have to isolate when travelling from amber list countries. We will set out further details next month. Our political correspondent Joe Pike has dashed into the studio. He's seen that tweet along with the rest of us. So, as expected, Joe, this list coming strangely after Northern Ireland and Scotland sent out their lists.
Yeah, and good news that the green list is growing. But of particular interest, I think, this new green watch list. Now, it was originally promised there would be a watch list, a sort of a danger zone for countries in the green list, that they could be relegated to amber. Grant Shapps making it clear that Madeira, the Balearics and the Caribbean islands mentioned are on that green watch list, and Israel and Jerusalem, which is already on the green list, where we know cases are rising, even though the Israeli vaccine rollout has been so successful, are also on the green watch list. What this suggests, I suppose, is that, yes, you can travel to these places, but don't be surprised if we do have a Portugal-like situation. 3 weeks ago, Portugal, without really any warning at all, was moved green to amber, and that caused a lot of problems for holidaymakers and the sector. So I suppose you should book, but with awareness, with caution, knowing that maybe there could be trouble ahead. I'm sure many in the travel industry will see this as progress, because in particular the Balearics and Caribbean islands are common summer holiday destinations. That is good for an industry that has really been struggling and angry, furious over recent weeks. We've got the clarity on the watch list, but this big unknown on the date when people who've had 2 jabs will be able to travel with fewer restrictions.
Yeah, the tweet says later in the summer, and then there's a little sunshine emoji, but no date.
But the summer has officially started. Yeah. The summer solstice was on Sunday. Summer holidays are perhaps what the government are really thinking about, because we know that's when a lot of money will be spent, and that's when a lot of voters, especially those with families, will want to travel. I think there'll be sort of increasing calls for more clarity, but he does say later this month. Boris Johnson and every cabinet minister this week has been really positive about how the success of the UK's vaccine programme will allow more international travel. But of course, Labour argue, look, are we creating a 2-tier system? Older people like yourself, Jonathan, who've had 2 jabs are in a better position than somebody who's in their late teens or early 20s and has had none or one. And therefore, why younger people who've really suffered in this pandemic, people who've maybe just left school or uni, why are they more restricted when others can go and have a nice holiday?
Yeah. The other issue, of course, is there's an irony, Joe, here, isn't there, that we're opening things up and adding more countries to that green list, just as Angela Merkel starts saying, well, we don't want you to come.
Yeah, and what we don't know is whether there will be much sort of unanimity across Europe. Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron have both suggested there should be a Europe-wide strategy for dealing with Brits coming to their countries. But remember, the Spanish, the Greek economies are so reliant on British holidaymakers. Germany is far less so, I'd argue. And therefore, would they want to suddenly block off this key income stream at such a critical point when a second significant summer of no British investment could really hit local communities very badly? It's unclear what will happen in Europe. But of course, there is a good point. Boris Johnson and Grant Shapps can release the restrictions all they like, but if Angela Merkel and co put more restrictions up, holidays may not be that possible.
No. OK. And when will the list be reviewed, just quickly?
3 weeks' time.